we want to start with Aaron Rodgers, who got a brand new contract. Some of the details, it was reported by James Jones, his former teammate. That was the story, that Aaron Rodgers was going to basically give the info to James Jones to release to the public. James Jones will be joining us later on as well, too. We've been hearing stuff around $80 million guaranteed. He's going to be due 80 to 90 by March. A lot of money, but a big-time contract extension for Aaron Rodgers.
Right. The total package was 134, but it's the guaranteed money that we talk about.
And we'll know the details of that as throughout the course of the day, and we'll figure out just all of that as it comes up. But it gets to the point of, well, why is Aaron Rodgers worth that kind of money? And from my understanding, you feel like, well, why isn't he?
He's the best quarterback I've ever seen play the position. Not the most accomplished. There's a difference between the two. But, Jonas, I would say to you, what doesn't he do? I've seen this guy do everything with the football. He can throw distance. He has a great arm. He has great touch.
Accuracy.
Yep. He has the greatest, not one of, the greatest quarterback rating in the history of the NFL. All the quarterbacks stacked up, he has the greatest quarterback rating. He also has the greatest touchdown to interception ratio, something like 4 to 1. Yeah. Tom Brady's not even like 2.5 to 1. It's not even close like the next guy. That's how good it is. So I think he deserves to be the highest paid guy. People want to say, well, he's only won one Super Bowl. I get it. And I'm not one of these guys who's going to say when he wins, it's all his doing, and when he loses, it's never his doing. I get it. He still gets lumped in with the Green Bay Packers, who have had a chance to go to a couple more Super Bowls. We saw in Seattle against Seattle where they choked that down. There was a trip to the Super Bowl sitting right there, onside kick, tight end, couldn't catch the ball. Seattle recovered and wound up stealing that game and tripped to the Super Bowl away from them. But there were others. So he has won Super Bowl. He's batting 1,000. Does he need to win another Super Bowl for his legacy? Absolutely. I believe in always. Anybody can win once where the stars align, everything works out, right? It never happens again.
Yeah.
When you win twice, 3 times, it's about you. Then I know you have something to do with this when you can do it. So he has to win another one, but I have no issue. I don't care how much money Green Bay gave him. I don't care if they have money left over for other people. That's not his concern. Aaron Rodgers should be compensated, and that's what they did today.
Yeah, and the latest details, and again, the guaranteed money number has changed a couple of times, but the latest, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN, is it's $103 million total in guarantees.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, yeah, 103.
Okay, and again, the number has changed because we heard around 80 to 90, and then it moved around. So
that's even bigger.
Regardless, it's a record-setting deal as far as guaranteed goes in the NFL. And so the people out there will look at this and say, well, what does it do to the rest of the roster? Because if you've got all this money tied up in Aaron Rodgers, what happens to the rest of the roster? There's just a reality in the NFL. You either have a great quarterback or you don't.
And if you don't have one, what does that mean? You have no shot to win anything.
And you have to build in other areas. I look at it like this. I think that, and I was making this comparison, like nobody's perfect, but I also believe that nobody's completely lost either. You could be short, you could be fat, you could be bald, you could smell, but you probably got a lot of money, or you have to have something. Somebody has something.
Everybody has something.
Yes.
I totally agree with that.
And I think the way NFL teams look at this nowadays is they think to themselves, all right, who do we have as a quarterback? Well, if you don't have Aaron Rodgers, or you don't have Tom Brady, or you don't have Drew Brees, you have what would be considered a step below at quarterback, which means you have to put your money into pieces around him to improve the totality of the roster. If you do have one of those elite quarterbacks, you can afford to put your money into him because he makes so many people on the team that much greater. And so when people look at the deal and think, man, that's going to tie up, they're going to be cash strapped, and that's going to tie up the money. They can't afford this, they can't afford that. Their shopping is different than your shopping, okay? When you're shopping, you need to find pieces around you to try and improve that quarterback and build him up. We've seen it with the Rams and Jared Goff. We've seen it with the Eagles and Carson Wentz. The Eagles built up that roster so well, they won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, who was awful in St. Louis not that long ago.
And with about 4 or 5 star players who were also hurt. That's how deep that roster was.
And they knew that. That's why they looked at Carson Wentz and said, on his rookie deal, let's load up around him and let's get as many star players as we can and build the deepest, best roster possible. The Rams did it with Jared Goff. The Bears are trying to do it with Mitch Trubisky. How that plays out, we'll see. But it's just a different in financial philosophy. You either have a guy that you pay a ton of money to because he deserves it and he's elite and he's going to make everybody better, or you don't, and that money's got to go somewhere while you still got that quarterback on the rookie deal. Good for Aaron Rodgers. I totally get the move. He's worth every single penny.
No doubt. And he's one of those guys. Sometimes they give a deal out and you go, I don't know if I really feel good about it, even though it's not your money.
And the NBA 2 years ago.
Am I right? When they were just, just turning over money to people. And you were like, really? Like, this guy getting like, who was it? Who was the player who was the highest paid player at one point from, was it Memphis or the guard?
Conley, Mike Conley.
Mike Conley, you remember that? He was he had made more money than any player who had ever played in the NBA, and the guy had never made an All-Star team.
I've never
You remember that one?
Yes,
that was the one.
I've never been more ashamed at being 6'2" and not all that athletic than when Evan Turner got $70 million. And I thought, Jesus.
Like, they're just giving away money,
this is crazy.
But in this case, Aaron Rodgers, to me, I don't know how you could look at the guy, and I know, yes, he's been injured a couple times.
Of course.
But if you look at his body of work and what he's been able to do, and I love the way he just plays. There are a few guys. I don't root for teams. You know that I've been a journalist for 32 years.
You're not a Lions fan? I could have sworn you were a Lions fan.
No.
Lions fan.
Oh, no. Not at all.
Big Matt Stafford guy here.
You mean Pat Stafford? Is that what you're talking about? That guy?
Stat Padford.
Right? That guy. Unbelievable. But no. So when you see a guy who can do the things that he's done, and I appreciate watching him. I really. There were a handful of guys who I would say that I would pay money as a sports writer. I would pay my money to go see, say I didn't live in that city, and Aaron Rodgers was coming to play.
Yeah.
I would go buy a ticket to watch him play. That's how good he is. And I think that's why he's separate from a lot of other guys.
And here's the thing about Rodgers as well, too, because if you're one of those people out there that are saying, why would you put $103 million guaranteed in a quarterback who's dealing with injuries the past couple of years and he's 34 years old? No. He sat his first 3 years. We're talking about a 31-year-old in NFL years.
100%. In NFL years, he didn't go through the beating that other guys got.
Right.
And if you're looking at Tom Brady now, Aaron Rodgers, I'm not saying he's under the same witch doctor that Tom Brady's using, but I'm saying
here we go.
But I'm saying there's a good chance that Aaron Rodgers will be able to play down the road a little longer as well.
And let me tell you something. Brady's playing at 40 years old. Okay, so let's look at Rodgers. If he continues to play at this level, and even if he diminishes a little bit, which just happens with time, it's normal all the way around.
Father Time is undefeated.
Of course. Aaron Rodgers, 6 years from now at 40, I mean, what record won't that guy have? I mean, who knows what the hell he's got? So I think it was a good deal for the Packers. I totally get the move.
Absolutely. I think if you're a Packer fan, you're happy. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to be disgruntled. He could just go out and play football, and congrats.
Good for him. And that money will go a long way in Green Bay, by the way.
Man.
Jeez.
That's like $8 to $1.
No kidding.
Am I right?
It's like walking into the 99-cent store with a 50 spot. You know,
exactly.
Like they don't even take those at the cash register.
Have you been to downtown Green Bay? There's a Kmart. There's not too much else going on down there.
Rob Parker, Jonas Knox, in for Doug Gottlieb here on Fox Sports Radio. You can always check out the show on the iHeartRadio app. You can get Rob on Twitter, and I'm sure you will let him know how much you appreciate his Tom Brady comments. At Rob Parker FS1. You can also get me at the Jonas Knox. And if you would like to tweet Aaron Rodgers and ask him his opinion of his new record-breaking deal, just tweet him at JSRamos06. Aaron Rodgers running John Ramos' Twitter account for today only. Yeah, I believe so.